Okay, let's start. So welcome to the future. Few words about Thursday Aspirations. If you are joining us today, you are probably a teacher, and probably the teacher who are absolutely working under enormous amount of stress, under enormous amount of pressure from absolutely every possible direction. Management, parents, Ofsted, not knowing if exams are going to be cancelled this year, what's going to happen, and all the things which come from teaching in COVID times. Now, you may have dreams of a greater and better future for yourself and for your family. And this prosperous future may lay just outside teaching. And this is where personal aspirations come and help you to get there. So the purpose of Thursday Aspirations is to explore specific ideas about using your teaching skills beyond the classroom. We are creating a knowledgeable and supportive community to help you with this exploration. And today we would like to introduce a little part of that. We're going to be talking about discovering your niche. This is based on our roadmap for teachers who are wondering about life beyond teaching. And Mary will show us, Mary will show a very quick presentation showing our 7-step guide, very suitably called for teachers midterm. So over to Mary.
Thank you. So we're going to be looking, as Dorothy said, we're going to be looking at the midterm system, and we'll vanish just for a moment while we consider that. And the midterm system is something that we developed to look at all the key ideas that you need to consider if you're thinking maybe mid-career of saying, okay, I've done that, I've done teaching, I would like to take the skills I've had as a teacher and use them in a different sphere and maybe make more money, maybe have a more satisfying time. So it gives you a chance to look at all the key things that we, in our experience, have found to be important. Teaching is it's a rewarding, but it's a very challenging profession. And I think certainly since I left teaching, it was getting hard in my final few years with all the demands that there were on teachers. But it has become a lot tougher since, and I'm very aware when I talk to people who are still in harness, as it were, in teaching, how tough it can actually be. But both Dorothy and I recognise it's also extremely rewarding. And I know that in my subsequent career, very often when I was standing in front of people, explaining things or talking to them or educing ideas or whatever, I recognise I was still using many of the same skills and enjoying them. And those of you who've been through the experience of teaching in the COVID years will, over the last 2 years, will have developed a whole range of new skills in terms of giving online education, organising online education, that is actually extremely useful beyond the teaching sphere as well. So Dorothy and I, in fact, we came up with this model when we were travelling across Poland some years ago. We had a very long journey on a bus, and we were crammed at the front of the coach, and we said, how can we capture the essence of what we have gone through in order to build a career outside of teaching? And we came up with these 7 aspects, if you like, the 7 simple steps, 3 of which are more interior. So looking at your mindsets, how you see things, seeking inspiration. You may think, oh, I really would quite like to leave teaching, I'd like to do something else, but don't have a clue where to start. And in a way, you have to seek for the inspiration for that. And there comes a point where you need to make a decision. Are you seriously going to look for something outside, or are you going to stay with what is a very enjoyable career in its own right? And then if you do move on this journey, then you need to look at time management, how you manage a busy teaching schedule while you're developing something else. You need to decide that we're going to look tonight at your enterprise, your niche, what's possible. You need to become your own researcher. There's a huge amount to begin to explore and get your head around if you're going to set up a business alongside or beyond teaching, and then finding suitable mentors. None of us can make this journey without having other people who are able to guide us along the way in some way. And for each of these steps, Dorothy and I have developed a system, a series of key ideas that we will unfold, and we will touch on these as the Thursdays unfold going forward in this year. But we thought it might be helpful to start first, just say a word or two, for those of you who don't know us, a word or two about our background. So Dorothy.
Right, so I've been a teacher for nearly 15 years actually, and taught in sixth form college, but it came to the point where I really wanted a new career, and I found this new future in becoming a property developer, a property investor. I've been doing it for over 6 years now. I'm finding it very, very rewarding, and one of the rewards from that is the fact that we are sitting now here in Crete with a cracking fire behind us and enjoying our life.
Very true. And that was perhaps one of the greatest benefits of actually leaving teaching, was having control of time and being able to do things differently. So to say a little bit about myself, I also started teaching in a sixth form college, and purpose-built sixth form college near Southend, which I have to say I loved every minute of it, and stayed at that level, the 16 to 18 year group, which was a very rewarding thing to do. But after 10 years and after 15 years, I felt I wanted to do something else with my skills and abilities. And I started training first as a counsellor, and then I took a training in psychotherapy. And that actually, I didn't see it that way at the beginning, but that actually proved to be the bridge to become a management consultant, which I then did later on for 15 years. So in terms of the ideas we're looking at then, we need to consider, just gone onto the wrong screen for a moment. We need to consider the enterprise that you might be part of. So you're going to be looking for a niche, something that you're going to do, and it needs to be at that confluence of your interests and people's needs and your skills and abilities. So initially, you're probably going to be searching for a seed idea, but behind your new sphere of work, something that you can begin to grow, something you can begin to nurture while you carry on teaching and thinking, but if I was to shift over to doing whatever it might be that will become your niche, will that prove to be satisfying? And is it something I can do? And this will become the engine house of your future freedom and your future choices. And it may well prove to be something that provides you with a higher income, a higher reward, and greater freedom. And it will be where your enthusiasm, skills, and interests meet somebody's specific need. And what you will be doing is serving somebody's need. It's not that you'll be leaving teaching to go and do something that isn't meeting the ideals that I'm sure have been there with you as a teacher. You will undoubtedly find a way of using what is crucial to you and important to you in a new sphere. So let's go back to this.
Right, so over the next few weeks, we will be exploring more aspects of the midterm system. And I really hope you enjoyed our chat today. If you did, please like us, please invite friends or colleagues to join us next Thursday at 7 o'clock UK time. Do leave comments. We will try to answer any comments in the chat you may have. Thank you very much for listening, and I hope that was useful, and we'll see you next Thursday.
But I'd also like to say hi particularly to Natasha and to Alina, and of course to Joe, who we know, who's multitasking. Thank you, Joe, for popping by tonight. We're really pleased to see some names that we hope to see next week as well. So we look forward to seeing you next week at this time, 7 o'clock.
Thank you. Bye-bye.